Hi everyone, it's CinemaBigWaves here with House of Dragon Episode 9 Breakdown. At first, we noticed that the credits have been changed and 3 more symbols have been added. The symbols of Aemond, Aegon and Helena. This change is showing that the boundaries of conflict between more people are going to expand. The first sequence starts with some still and dark shots that show the calm before the storm. The director has used this technique to create more suspense and impact in the continuation of the story. The choice of this mood and this hour of the day when it's dusk is to show the uncertainty of the situation, which of course in the next moments we will realize what is going to happen. After these quiet shots, we see a boy in the palace, who we'll later find out is one of the spies of the White Worm. If you remember, we have seen rats in several places in the previous episodes. As we said in previous reviews, the symbol of the spy was shown for the first time when Rhaenyra left the palace. Now, this boy is clearly shown to us instead of that mouse. One of the distinctive and positive points of the series in this episode is the soundtrack, especially the first sequence. This beautiful music with piano as main instrument reminds me of Light of the Seven from the Game of Thrones. Next, we see that Alicent's maid, Talia, is lighting candles in Alicent's room in a hurry. It seems that she is signaling the spies outside the castle. When we go to the small council sequence, we realize that Sir Otto and the others have been plotting for Rhaenyra for a long time. For a moment, we also, like Alicent, get surprised. But the question is, why would they surprise us when there is no sign for this event in the story?
Am I to understand that members of the small council have been planning secretly to install my son without me?
In the continuation of the same sequence, Sir Cole kills Lord Beesbury, and this is the second important person who is killed by Sir Cole. And then there are no consequences for him. First Joffrey was killed, the son of the Velaryon family, and then nothing happened. But here, a punishment should be considered for him. The writers want us to accept that the Queen's association with Sir Cole can be a strong reason to cover this up, but it is not actually acceptable to the viewers. In the next scene, when Helena is embroidering a spider, her line is,
"It is our fate, I think, to crave always what is given to another."
This dialogue can refer to the issue that Aegon and Aemond are involved with. Aegon seeks Aemond's lack of responsibility, and Aemond seeks Aegon's kingdom. Next, Helena tells her mother that
There is a beast beneath the boards.
Oh, my dearest love.
this prophecy seems to be two-sided, which can refer to Melis that we see at the end of the episode, and it can also refer to Aemond and his sinister goals to seize power. The thing that I have noticed about Helena's prophecies so far is that until now, whenever Helena had prophesied in some way, the picture immediately cut to Aemond, and this time the same thing happened again. The director wanted to create a meaningful connection between Aemond and Helena with this trick. We have to see what will happen between these two in the future. In the following, we see that Alicent and Sir Otto each have a different behavior when they find Aegon, and they disagree with each other. Maybe you have also been asked that these two, whose goal is to gain power, are the same, so why are each of them sending different people to look for him? Maybe because of the fact that each of them wants to issue a different sentence for Rhaenyra, and they want to impose their opinion on Aegon. Basically, Alicent wants Rhaenyra to negotiate, but Sir Otto wants her and her family to be killed. Well, in the next scene, we see that Alicent tells Sir Cole,
Everything you feel for me as your queen.
from this dialogue, we understand that these two have a relationship beyond the queen and bodyguard, and probably an emotional relationship has developed between them. Considering Alicent's relationship with Sir Cole and Lord Larys, it can be said that she's using her beauty to gather her allies, and it is interesting that this is what she was blaming Rhaenyra for. In the following, when Sir Eric and his brother and Aemond and Sir Cole go to search for Aegon, we get to know more about Aegon and Aemond's personality. Aegon, as shown before, is a deceitful and dirty person, and his escape from the kingdom is not because of his humbleness, but because of his interest in corruption and dirty deeds. Aemond's desire for kingship is also clear here. To what extent he considers himself worthy of it. and according to himself, he tried for this position. With the characterization of Aegon and Aemond, the authors actually remind us of the same pattern as Viserys and Daemon. Daemon was a younger brother there, who considered himself more worthy than Viserys for the kingdom. Of course, Aemond's appearance similarities with Daemon and some of his behaviors are proof of this fact. In the sequence where Alicent goes to Rhaenys' room to talk to her, we find out that Alicent wants to reduce one of the dragons of the Black Group by convincing her to join them. Well, in the scene where Alicent enters her room and confronts Lord Larys, we understand that the Queen has established a relationship with him, so that she can keep the loyalty of Lord Larys. And this is a kind of unusual relationship in which the Queen allows him to please himself in return of his loyalty. While Alicent and Aegon are in the wagon, Aegon asks his mother that if she loves him, and this shows that he doesn't even believe that his mother loves him and feels isolated. In response, the Queen does not say yes or no. She tells him that he is very imbecile, which is a two-sided answer. This can mean that you don't understand how much I love you, and the other one means my love is nothing compared to what I'm doing for you. When Aegon becomes king at the end of this episode, we gradually see his character turn from someone who ran away from being a king. He becomes someone who tastes power and realizes the many possibilities this power can give him. It is as if he has not understood the power of the king until now, and when he sees the respects and the cheers towards him, he gets a new pleasure. Well, in the last sequence, which has attractive special effects and is well designed, Rhaenys' escape with Dragon is really impressive and intimidating. Rhaenys wanted to declare his support for Rhaenyra by running away, and if you were waiting to hear Dracarys, you are very wrong, because if the dragon had set fire to them, only Alicent and Otto would have been burned, and the rest of the children are Targaryens, so they will not be harmed because we know that they are genuine and never burn in fire. The final point I want to add is that Aegon finally accepts power, and his acceptance reminds us of Joffrey in Game of Thrones, who finally came to power, but then he did not accept his mother's advice and killed Ned Stark. Now we have to see if Aegon doesn't listen to his mother and tries to kill Rhaenyra. Thanks for being with us, and write us in the comments what do you expect from the last episode.